Wonderful good morning to all of you. Today we are going to start a horse into goats, third part of this video. We have finished till here where Muni met in a foreigner and he shows that he was look like a policeman, and here he want to show his card that after seeing that card Muni thought that it was a arrest warrant. I didn't perform any kind of wrong activity, then why he is showing that warrant order to me. At that time he surrendered and tried to run from here, but after that Fawn told that it was my ID of New York. Then he was started in speaking in Tamil language, that before God Bhagwan who sees everything, I tell you sir that I haven't done anything wrong, but nearby village there was a murder a few weeks before, then but that he started to give some explanation regarding that I haven't done, might nearby village this case has happened. And I'm sure you know when this horse was made said the end. Then he started smiled and he reacted very smiling that he pleaded, please go away sir, I know nothing. I promise I will hold you in all around, and I'll put you near about a coconut pit of tries to escape. But villagers, then he had made a clean record, must definitely be other the village. Then now Redman implored, please, please, I'll speak slowly. Please try to understand. Can't you understand even a simple word of English? And he didn't understand English properly, so he started to speaking in a here in Tamil language. Okay. Muni made some indistinct sound in his throat and shook his head, encouraged when he explained the length of their slavery and care deliberation. Presently, he slided over and took a seat beside the old man, started explaining. You see, last August we probably had the summer, and in history I was working in short sleeveless in my office on the 4th floor of the Empire State of Building. We had a power failure one day, I was stuck for hours. No elevator, no air conditioner, all these waste train. I kept thinking, and 1 minute I reached in a home. Then I told my wife Ruth, we will visit India in this winter, and it is a time to took the civilization. Next day, he called the agent and tried to make a plan to visit the Srinagar. Modi looked reflectively in the end. Then he visited in the oration of the royal family. Yes or no concession to the other's language in the Tamil. When I was this high, he indicated a foot. I had heard my uncle say that no one planned to say that other interrupted him as a stage to ask why. What's the sequence of your teeth? How old are you? Muni forget all these things in remarking. Lose our cattle, jackals, and cheetahs may sometimes carry them off, but sometimes just theft from over the next village, and then we will know that who has done it. Then he had make a remarkable visit for that. He gestured with his hand and perfect mimic of meat. The American watched his hand intentionally and said, I know what you mean. Chop something? Maybe I'm holding you up and you want to chop wood. With your eggs. He started to chop that wood. Did you enjoy? It's just a hobby. We got drifted along the backwater nearby my house. On Sundays, I do nothing but chop wood for the fireplace. I really feel different when I watch fire in the fireplace, although it may take the sections of Sunday New York time and get fire started. He smiled and gave reference. Muni felt totally confused at that time, and he was thinking that attempting in a good way that he tried to edge out saying must go home and turned to go. Then other seized his shoulder and said desperately, is there no one, absolutely no one here to translate for me? He looked up and down on the road and deserted to afternoon. The stranger almost pined Muni's back to the statue and asked, Isn't this steady yours? Why don't you sell to me? The old man now understood reference to the horse, thought for a second and said in his own language, I was in the high when I heard my grandfather explain horse and warrior, and my grandfather himself was this high when he heard this grandfather. Whose grandfather? The other man interrupted him, and I don't want to seem to have a stop here for nothing. I will offer you a good price for this, he said, indicating the horse. Then, in this way, I will offer you a good price. He gave 100 rupees for this, and Muni followed man's eyes and pointing fingers and dimly understood subject matter and feeling relieved that the theme related to the body had been abandoned at least for the time being, said enthusiastically, I was this high when my grandfather told me about this horse, the great warrior, and the grandfather is high when he himself in the Tamil language he spoke, stimulating even as pure sound. The foreign listened and fascination. I wish I had my tape recorder here, he said, assuming the pleasant expression. Your language sounds wonderful. I get a kick out of every word you utter here. He indicated his ears, but don't have to waste the time. Your breath in sales tongue. I appreciate the article. You don't have to explain all the points. Then he told, I never went to a school in those days. Brahmin went to school, but we have to work in a field morning to night, from sowing to the harvest time. When the Pongal came, we have cut harvest. My father allowed me to go to play with other at the ting, so I don't know Parangi language you speak. Even a little fellows your country probably speak the Parangi language, but here only learned men and officers knew it. The foreign laughed hardly. Then he laughed hardly and took another cigarette and offered to the Muni. Smoked with easy, deciding to stay with the fellow going to be so good and keep it cigarette supply. The American now stood up and pedestal and attitude demonstrative lecturer and said, running his finger along some carved decorations around the horse neck, speaking slowly, uttering his words slowly and slowly. I could give I could give a sales talk to better than anyone else. Marvelous combination of yellow and indigo, though wedded now. How do you people of this country achieve these flaming colors? Muni assured that the subject was still the horse and not the dead body. Said this is guardian. It means death of our adversaries. At the end of Kali Yoga, the world of all other world destroyed and Redeemer come into the shame called Kalki. This Kalki word is used. Okay. This horse will come to life and gallop and trample down all bad men. While he was brooding on this pleasant vision, the founder utilized the pause to say, I assure you that this will have the best home in the USA. I'll push away the book is, I love books and I'm a member of 5 books clubs. Choice bonus volume small pile really in your living room. As high as his horse itself, but they will go with many disapprove, but I'll concede money to continue his dispersion. Description in the end of the world, the Pandit discussed at the temple how oceans are going to the closer of the earth and a huge wave surfaces. This horse will grow bigger and biggest wave carry on its back only good people and kick the floods to evil ones. Plenty of them about. He said reflectively, do you know when it is going to happen? He asked. Fauna now understood by the tone of other that question was being asked, then said, I'm not a millionaire, but the modest businessman. My trade is coffee. Amidst his wilderness obscure sound, Muni caught the word coffee and said, if you want to drink coffee, drive further up. And next down, they have Friday market and there they open coffee hotels. Then you learn basis by the owner said that I repeat, I'm not a millionaire. Ours is modest business. After all, we can afford by 60 minutes of a TV time in a month, which works 2 times a day. That's all. Nothing, of course, we'll have a go to sponsor 1 hour show regularly. If our sales graph continues to go up, then the visitor feeling that have spent too much time already said, tell me, will you accept 100 rupees? Not for a horse. I love to biscuit shoulders. He was giving 100 rupees, and then he later tell to Ruth that we have a horse which is in nearby cabin and it was only of 100 rupees. I have a station wagon, as you see. I can push seat back and take the horse if you will just let me